This is the battle for 12th position here between Davey and Kyle.
Davey Allison's on 7 cylinders. Did we say that, Ned? Or?
I don't know if we said it. We had a report that he was on 7 cylinders, and Kyle just drives by on the straightaway. So apparently that is true. There goes Spencer around another car. He went around there it goes.
Rick Wilson is now right behind Davey Allison. There's Jimmy.
This is the same car John Kern was talking about, Jeff Gordon. This is the same car that Spencer wrecked in Darlington last week. Talked to Jimmy Finnegan. They had a 24-hour job down at Bobby Allison Motorsports this week, trying to get that car ready to come up to Bristol.
Tommy Hilton now going back out after repairs on the Howlick Myers Ford. Been in for many laps after being involved in an accident.
Mark Martin now right on the rear spoiler of the Pennzoil Pontiac, driven by Michael Waltrip. Inside, Mark Martin's Valvoline Ford. The Olympic stain in-car camera. It too carries the number 7 on the dash.
He looks to the inside of Michael. Goes down. Michael gives him the racetrack, and Mark Martin takes that spot away.
Michael is not arguing with anybody that comes up on the inside of him. He knows that his tires are older than most other people out there, and therefore he can't keep up. It allows them to pass.
There comes Spencer.
Boy, Jimmy Spencer has come through the field. Started 28th on the 25th lap. He was 22nd. 27th on lap 50, but then began to move up to 19th, and at the end of 111 laps has moved into the top 10.
If you wonder how he went backwards, he spun. Remember, up in 3 and 4, he spun out. Ooh, lost a lap
again. He and Kyle Petty coming off the turn. Both of them did a good job of hanging on and not losing control.
This is another situation where Kyle Petty has better tires on his car than Spencer does on his Ford.
Here it is coming off the corner.
Oh, Spencer gets it out of control. Kyle Petty never touched him, but Kyle was trying to dodge because he felt like Spencer was going to lose control.
And the word we get is that Spencer may be having some brake problems, and I don't think that's probably one of the things that you would relish about driving on this racetrack.
No, you don't use the brakes a great deal going into the turns here at Bristol, but certainly if you need to slow down in a hurry, well, you need those brakes.
There is Kyle getting the left side tires down on the apron of the track, but taking the spot away from Jimmy Spencer. The lead continues to be held by Rusty Wallace. Jarrett is second, followed by Earnhardt, Jeff Bodine, and Ernie Irvin. ESPN Speed World today in Bristol, Tennessee. The top 5 after 125 of 500 laps in the Food City 500. Rusty Wallace, Dale Jarrett, Dale Earnhardt, Ernie Irvin, and Ricky Rudd.
There's our leader, Rusty Wallace. And Ned, I was doing a little informal research this morning down in the garage area, and Rusty Wallace has more gear ratio in his car than anybody else out there,
which means he's turning the engine more RPMs.
They say he's probably turning 9,000 RPMs. Wow, man.
Here's a battle for position. This is the 6th spot, which has just been taken by Mark Martin. He passed Jeff Bodine.
And Jeff Bodine was 4th when we went to break a moment ago, so he's falling back. Rudd, Irvin, and now Mark Martin got by.
In 1992, Jeff was the strongest on the short tracks, 4 top 5s and 2 wins in the 8 short track races that were held last year.
Those 2 wins came at Martinsville and North Wilkesboro.
Back-to-back on Mondays.
Yep, that's right. We'll be there in a few weeks.
Yep. See the damage there on the right front of that number 6 car that doesn't seem to be slowing it much.
That's the concern that I would have is, as Jerry Punch pointed out, visibility. Can Mark Martin see over the hood well enough? Because we can see how the hood's pushed up. And when he tries to get alongside these guys and gets very close to them, can he judge his distance as well with that hood up like he?
There's the 42 of Kyle Petty. and that car is one of the fastest on the racetrack.
Yes, it is. He has been picking off the one and then the other. He's coming up on Jeff Bodine right now. He had made those pit stops and really has come back up through the field.
Boy, that's a great shot, isn't it, from the Family Channel blimp?
Sure isn't it? And you can see the new concrete speedway around here. Remember, we had trouble a couple of races here with the pavement coming up, so Larry Carey went and put cement all the way around this half-mile racetrack.
Jerry Punch has a comment on Jeff Bodine.
A minute ago, we were asking the question about what's the problem with the car number 15. I spoke with Donnie Wingo, who said that Jeff apparently has problem getting in the corner. The car gets very loose going into the corner, and here at Bristol, you don't want a loose race car diving in the corner. You'll end up backing it into the concrete.
There we see Jeff Bodine get alongside Wally Dallenbach. Here's another Napa Field summary. We see our leader, Rusty Wallace, Jarrett Earnhardt, Urban in red.
According to my calculations, Dale is about 1 3/4 seconds behind the leader.
Mark Martin closing up in the back of Ricky Rudd.
He's right on the back bumper of the Ted Musgrave car. There is Ernie Irvan having a good run here at Bristol.
So it looked like that the team was able to install that new engine and everything worked out well.
Sterling Marlin remains several laps behind, involved in an incident up in turn 3 earlier in the day. Had to come in for some repairs. He finds just ahead of him Dale Earnhardt, who is 3rd in the standings at the moment. Last week's winner at Darlington and the current points leader. There is 2nd place, Dale Jarrett, putting a lap on the 20 car of Joe Ruttman.
And boy, when they get up on that high side of the racetrack, they just got to tiptoe around there because they know if they get just a couple of inches too high, that car will break loose with them and they'll be gone.
Joe is 19th currently, Joe Ruttman in the number 20 car.
That's the Dick Moroso automobile sponsored by Fina Lube.
And there is the interval between 1st and 2nd as Rusty Wallace, the pole sitter, looking for $60,800 in added bonus money from Unocal, continues to lead this race.
Mark Martin has gotten himself on the 5-position scoreboard here at Bristol, moved into 5th place, moved around Ricky Rudd a lap ago.
Here's his brother, Kenny Wallace, directly in front of Rusty. That's the Dirt Devil Pontiac, one of Felix Sabata's team.
I don't know if you've ever seen the relatively new program that's on CBS called How'd They Do That? It's kind of an interesting program. Well, they shot a piece recently on his crash at Daytona and the rebuilding of the car and how it survived and everything. So it should be quite interesting. That'll be coming up in a few weeks on the CBS program, How'd They Do That?
Here's Derek Coates in car number 98, Davey Allison, and Darrell Waltrip.
Darrell Waltrip started last, moved to 16th by the 45th lap, 14th by the 75th lap, moved down to 16th at 105, and at 142 laps is running in 14th position.
Darrell's trying to get that high groove worked out because as far back as he is, he realizes that he's going to need to go to the outside. Here he goes trying to get on the outside of Davey Allison. Just can't get alongside.
And I'm sure that the team has told him that Rusty Wallace is coming up behind him. Rusty is about a straightaway behind this group of cars that we're watching right now, so they want to move on. They don't want to get a lap down.
There we see Darrell once again. He goes in the corner on the outside of Davey, but he just can't make the pass, can't get off the corners with enough acceleration to go by Davey.
Now maybe as he comes a little bit closer.
There's a slow car, Jimmy Means. Ooh, that was close. Darrell wisely backed off.
Bobby Labonte went very high down in turns 1 and 2. He gathered the car back in. No incident, but he almost hit the wall.
Darrell Waltrip has won 12 times on this racetrack, including every single race for 3 straight years.
And you can see Darrell just trying so hard to work up that high groove for himself so he can pass some of these cars. He knows that he can't run in the same tracks as everyone else and get to the front. But he's not having a lot of success in doing it. There's Jerry Cope in the Bojangles Ford directly in front of Davey.